What a do, skibbity boo, it's your boy Shawnee B Gaming, and today we're going to be going over the 7.8 patch notes, God of the Moon. This is a very exciting patch because Tsukuyomi is being released today. We're going to be going over Tsukuyomi, the god skins, the item changes, the god changes, the lighting changes, and then just some bug fixes and some other information that they left in the patch. If you are new to the channel, I upload 6 to 7 times a week. I add some commentary to a game that I've already played with the intention of seeing what went right and what went wrong. If that is something you're interested in, please check out the channel. Let's go ahead and continue with the patch notes. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tsukuyomi. His passive is Shingetsu and his Mangetsu. If I mispronounce any of these, please forgive me. Tsukuyomi wields Shingetsu on his left hand and Mangetsu in his right hand. When these weapons damage an enemy, they become empowered. Empowered Shingetsu gets a 50% cleave and restores mana. An empowered Mangetsu deals bonus damage and restores health. So what you want to take away from this passive is that his left and right auto attacks are going to be changing in between. If you deal damage with either or, the next attack from that is going to deal an additional effect. His left is going to be a cleave, and his right is going to deal extra damage to a single target. Left is going to restore some mana, and the right is going to restore some health. Tsukuyomi's 1, Dark Moon Shuriken. Tsukuyomi calls upon Shingetsu, summoning forth a Dark Moon Shuriken. This Shuriken damages enemies and stops on gods sticking to them. If Tsukuyomi gets close to the god, he retrieves the Shuriken and reduces its cooldown. After casting this ability, Shingetsu's next basic attack becomes ranged. This attack steals movement speed from the enemy. So think of this like a slow and a buff at the same time if you can hit that attack on the enemy. Kusarigama, Shingetsu and Mangetsu form themselves into Kusarigama. Tsukuyomi swings the weapon to his left and right, damaging and disarming enemies hit, then swings the weapon forward with more force, stunning enemies hit. When channeling, Tsukuyomi gains 33% movement speed and is immune to knockback effects. So you want to level up this ability first because the stun and the disarm durations increase as you level up this ability. Tsukuyomi's 3 is Silver Moon Caltrops. Tsukuyomi holds Mangetsu aloft as it erupts into starlight, sending stars falling to the ground. As they land, they become caltrops, damaging enemies in an area and slowing them for 2.5 seconds. Enemies who move inside this caltrop field take damage and are slowed again. After casting this ability, Mangetsu's next basic attack becomes ranged. This attack deals bonus true damage. So as you level up this ability, the slow is going to increase. Tsukuyomi's ultimate is Piercing Moonlight. Tsukuyomi channels the power of the full moon, gaining crowd control immunity and 50% damage reduction. He fires forward 4 powerful piercing beams of moonlight. Enemies hit take damage and become marked. Each beam can hit up to 3 enemy gods. After firing all beams, Tsukuyomi charges forward at light speed, dashing through all enemies in the order that they were hit, dealing heavy damage. Tsukuyomi will end his dash at the final enemy hit. I am very excited to have Tsukuyomi joining the game. The last assassin we had was Set. I think Tsukuyomi is going to be very fun, and I will be uploading a Tsukuyomi jungle video tomorrow, and probably him in some other roles throughout the week. So if you are looking for some Tsukuyomi gameplay, be sure to check back at the channel tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the item changes. So the first item to be changed is the Ragna's Mask. There is an effect on this item where you're going to take 25% more damage if you have this item. This is getting buffed to where now you only take 20% more damage when you have this item. Lona's Mask is getting an increased protections from 35 to 40, and increased health from 200 to 250. Bumba's Mask and Messenger's Mask are being removed from the game. These items gave you movement speed, and if you just stacked movement speed, it seemed very game-breaking in a sense. This item allowed you to break the game with movement speed, so they're removing it. Stone of Binding is now going to provide 10 MP5. I think this is a pretty big change. This item was being picked up on Guardians and Mages who were either support or solo. Now that it has MP5, I think that these items are going to help the Mages restore their mana a little bit quicker, same with the Guardians. Reinforced Shoes and Reinforced Greaves are both getting a increased health from 100 to 150. These boots are pretty good if you're trying to get some early game protections. The additional health is going to be very helpful. Up next, we're going to be going over the god changes. First up on the god changes, we have Achilles. The shield of Achilles, his 1 is getting a increased base damage by 20 at all levels. So it was on a scale of 80 to 300, now it's going to be on a scale of 100 to 320. Athena, her ultimate, Defender of Olympus, is getting an increased damage mitigation given to the target ally. It was at 20%, now it's going to be at 30%. Wields is receiving quite a few changes. Her base mana is getting increased from 220 to 240, which isn't that big of a deal, but her increased MP5 per level is going up from 0.27 to 0.46. This is almost double. This is a pretty big deal. Her Feather Step is getting increased base damage. It was on a scale of 40 to 180. Now it's going to be on a scale of 50 to 190, so plus 10 at all levels. Her Summon Suku decreased the mana cost from 50 to a scale of 70. Now it's going to be 30 to 50. So it's going to be a lot cheaper to ride Suku around in jungle. Increased strafe speed on Suku by changing hard cap on movement speed from 225 to 275. Updated ability description to show this as a speed cap, not percent reduction of speed. If you know what that means, please leave a comment down below and explain that to me. Not exactly sure what they mean by the hard cap on movement speed or how that really affects anything. Finally, fixed an issue where this ability would go on cooldown if it was interrupted. Up next, we have Bacchus. Belch of the Gods, which is his 3, increased base damage. It was on a scale of 20 to 80. Now it's going to be on a scale of 25 to 85 per tick. So that's plus 5 at all ranks. Beset is getting an increase on her power scaling on her pounce. It was at 90% power scaling. Now it's going to be at 100% power scaling. Kabrakan, his Seismic Crush. The stun from this ability no longer suffers from diminishing returns. So what that means is whenever you stun a target, the next stun to happen really quickly after that is going to be a little bit shorter. Each CC effect has a diminishing return. So if you chain somebody, each CC effect is going to be shorter and shorter. That is no longer going to be the case for Seismic Crush. So if you stun somebody for a second, you stun somebody for what should be a second, but they only get stunned for 0.8 seconds. Then Kabrakan comes in. Instead of his Seismic Crush stunning somebody for 0.6 seconds, he's actually going to stun them for the full second. And then his Tremors no longer tremor minions, instead pulling them more directly to Kabrakan. I think that's a nice little fix. Chalk, his Rain Dance is getting a decreased cooldown from 18 seconds to 16 seconds. So now Chalk is going to be able to slow everyone and heal himself more often. Yay! Cuchulainn, his Barbed Spear, is getting a decreased cooldown. It was on a scale of 16 to 12. Now it's going to be 15 to 11. So minus 1 at all ranks. The Goddess Who Shall Not Be Named because of YouTube and trying to be YouTube friendly. Her Spirit Ball is getting a decreased cooldown from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. And then finally, we have Osiris. His Judgment Tether is getting an increased damage reduction. It was on a scale of 10% to 30%. Now it's going to be on a scale of 15% to 35%, so plus 5 at all ranks. So taking a look at the god skins, we have the Labyrinth Keeper Heimdallr, which is going to be an exclusive new moon skin.
The fools! They are trapped in here with me!
Then we have the Wind Style Pele skin, which is also going to be a new moon skin.
Nah, don't worry. I won't get us in any trouble or anything.
And then we have the Angelic Archon Yamoja, which is going to be the reward if you've bought the new moon bundles.
The gods of order work tirelessly to protect humanity from chaos like you.
Then we have the cool cat on her.
I definitely got the best cost, because we're not supposed to say that.
This is going to be an exclusive chest, and I think the coolest skin of the patch is the Raven, the Morgan, which is also going to be exclusive to the Raven chest.
Systems are primed and coroutines has been loaded. Alright girls, let's project some chaos.
Then we have the Lunar Eclipse, Tsukuyomi.
Miscreants! They trample order, spitting in the face of proper decorum. I will not sully the moon to shine on them any longer.
So the Lunar Eclipse Tsukuyomi is going to be the standard recolor. The Ascended Tsukuyomi is going to be the Season Pass 2020 recolor.
Even in the darkest night, my blades can sense your arrogance.
And then we have the Tsukuyomi Mastery skins, which does not appear to be working. In this patch, they are also going to be changing the lighting in Conquest. So in the background, there is a before and after picture. If you can't notice the difference, don't worry, I gotcha. It's going to be really spammy real quick. Forgive me. The Tsukuyomi patch will be coming out today, August 11th, and the bonus patch will be coming out on August 25th. Project Olympus, there's a few things. The voice packs will now be unlocked by default in Jungle Practice. Match Lobby, something about skins. Jungle Fog, apparently there was a way you could edit the Jungle Fog in a file. They're removing that. Ratatasker Tail Glow, I think this is pretty cool. So depending on the color of the acorn that you pick, your tail is going to match that same color. Here's the list of the skins that this is going to also apply for, and some rules or some speculations, some specifics on what's going on with the lighting. Fix some UI stuff for the PC players. General gameplay. Quest fixed an issue where new players would not earn progress towards quest. And then they fixed an exploit that was allowing players to abuse the early surrender forgiveness. These items and god bug fixes I kind of read as a comical list. Wind Demon fixed an issue where this item did not appear to be filtering by penetration. Cursed Ankh fixed an issue where this item was not dealing the intended amount of damage to enemy shield health. Polynomicon fixed an issue where the item's passive buff bar icon had no visible duration. Hydra's Lament fixed an issue where the item's passive buff bar icon had no visible duration. Gods, Jormungandr fixed an issue where you could use his ultimate and the Aegis relic at the same time, resulting in some unintended behaviors. Ratatasker fixed an issue where Flurry was not affected by cooldown reduction, fixed an issue where his acorn used in lobby animations would be much smaller than intended. With Merlin, his Eclipse, enemy hit by Eclipse will no longer take damage over time when leaving the area via untargetable states. Hera fixed an issue where this game could crash. Yay, Hera and Ardeo are finally back in the game. Ardeo fixed an issue where this god could crash the game. Now it can be played. Camazotz fixed an issue where blue buff's spirit satires were granting Camazotz stack of vampirism. Changa fixed an issue where Changa would be warned to buy a second relic throughout the entire map. I think I actually ran into that bug. Ra fixed an issue where his passive buff bar icon had no visible duration. The Morgan fixed an issue where certain audio cues were not playing on her default skin, added a unique explode sound to her third basic attack for her default and all skins. Kronos fixed an issue where his Recolor skin looked like his base skin. Susano fixed an issue where his Zuko skin did not receive the updated voice line, "That's rough buddy," as intended. Avatar Aang and Avatar Korra updated their voice pack to use the multi-voice sound that they used in the show when in these forms. The lines have not been changed, just the manner that they're saying them in, so they're saying them differently, essentially. Conquest fixed an issue where the target bracketing didn't appear on Totem of Kill. If you do not have targeting bracketing on, I highly suggest that you turn it on. Fixed an issue where the Fire Giant ignored initial hits of damage taken. So here is the lighting that we went over already. Gold, Ani, and Primal will now immediately restart channeling on a new target if they become leashed. They must successfully complete a channel before this ability goes on cooldown and they resume basic attacking. Pyromancer, Infernal Ritual, now inflicts a large amount of damage on an AoE hit. The Centaur's Spear Thrust, increase base damage from 45 to 55, increase damage scaling from 12 to 18, and then in Duel, the last thing that we have, Duel matches will no longer award First Blood or the 500 gold bonus you get for getting the First Blood. The 50% penalty on MMR and TP gains after a victory via a surrender has been removed in Duel only. Well, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That's going to be the end of today's patch notes. If you are looking for some Smite gameplay or trying to figure out how to play a certain god, leave a comment down below. Check out the channel. I've got a bunch of videos on Smite already posted. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.